So I'm very excited. Today is the 1-year birthday of my debut novel, Token of Betrayal. And so in honor of being one, I am going to do a reading from chapter 1. And this is after the French have invaded the Isle of Jersey. And our main protagonist, Seigneur de Carteret, has pledged his loyalty to the French lord. Someone rapped on the door, and de Carteret approached and called out, "Who goes there?" A deep voice replied, "It is I, Lempriere." De Carteret opened the door to admit Lempriere, quickly checking the surroundings before barring it behind him. "Do you think someone followed you?" "No, I was careful." Lempriere removed his cloak and scabbard, draping it over a chair. His shoulder-length hair, usually perfectly combed, looked as tangled as de Carteret's thoughts. De Carteret drew the curtain across the window facing the town square. What happened back there? Something designed to frighten us into submission. I dare not even help Signor Le Cornu's family, because it may draw unnecessary scrutiny. To think we must worry that an act of kindness could be misconstrued as treason, de Carteret said. Wine? Please. Opening the sideboard, de Carteret dug out 2 glass chalices, blew off the dust, and set them on a small table in front of the unlit hearth. How dare Comte de Breze walk in and demand our fealty? I hope I don't live to regret this day. He didn't leave us a choice. Lempriere tucked his tall frame into a chair and crossed his legs at the ankles. The hilt of his dagger peeked out from the cuff of his knee-high boots. It was either take the oath or lose our manners. A man does not easily abandon his ancestry. De Carteret retrieved the flagon from the sideboard and filled the glasses almost to the rim. He handed Lempriere a chalice and settled in the other chair. Taking a sip of wine, Lempriere held it in his mouth for a moment before swallowing. Interesting. Smooth and sweet at the start, but leaves a bitter taste on the tongue. De Carteret took a draught. Disappointing. The French exact a high price, then send us the dregs. He placed the glass on the table. My sources tell me our citizens have found the French soldiers quite amiable. Perchance things will work out. I wouldn't count on it. A legitimate lord need not sneak in through the postern at night. He would ride through the portico, bearing a writ from the king. Lempriere rose from the chair and paced the room. In the past, a new lord installed a few knights and left us to continue our lives. This time, hundreds of soldiers fill the castle. There is much excitement around a rumor that Henry and his family might take refuge here. That could explain their presence. I pray you are right. Nevertheless, I intend to remain on my guard. Lempriere dropped back into his chair and closed his eyes. If what we witnessed today is any sign of things to come, this feels like an occupation. You, my friend, are fortunate to live on the far side of the island. With Roselle so close to Mont Orgueil, my family will feel the heavy fist of their governance. The question remains, how did the French gain access to the castle with no one sounding the alarm? A ship cannot drop anchor at night, transport an entire garrison ashore, and maneuver the steep rock face in utter silence. Curious indeed, given they surprised the warden in his bed and he didn't even put up a fight. De Carteret stroked his chin as he mulled over the information. So we are to believe. By some miracle, the fates aligned that night in favor of de Breze. Hardly, replied Lempriere. I hear reports that Guillaume de Saint Martin was laughing with the guards earlier in the evening and plying them with drink. The Attorney General? Despite the chill in the room, de Carteret felt uncomfortably warm. Lempriere sneered. I suppose that's the only way he can get people to tolerate his company. De Carteret gripped the chalice stem with enough force to break it. Why is it that the de St. Martin family is always involved whenever something traitorous happens. Indeed, that same night de St. Martin was spotted slinking away from the castle in the company of his 2 brothers and his cousin Thomas. I suspect I shouldn't be surprised, de Carteret replied through clenched teeth. They have long been staunch allies of the House of Lancaster. It makes a person question the warden's claims that the invasion was unexpected. I suspect Comte de Brezé is here at the behest of Margaret d'Anjou. There may be some truth to that. After all, Comte de Brezé and Margaret d'Anjou are cousins. And Henry is ineffectual, too cowardly to defy her wishes, even when they are treasonous. I doubt it will be long before someone reveals her support for the House of York to the new residents of Mont Orgueil, or reports how I harbored Edward of York and Lord Warwick for a time when they were in exile, de Carteret rubbed his temple, trying to ease the pounding in his head. No doubt Queen Margaret will find a way to exact her revenge. Lempriere drained his glass and set it on the table. We have never made a secret of our support for the House of York, which means I must be going. I don't want the gossips spinning tales, accusing us of plotting the demise of the French garrison within hours of pledging our loyalty. Neither of us desires to be hauled before a tribunal to answer for imaginary crimes. When the door closed behind Lempriere, de Carteret slammed his fist on the table. Was it too much to hope that he could raise Philippe in a place free from fear? Henry's fickle leadership had wrought a climate of betrayal and treason. An ally one day might denounce you as a traitor the next. De Carteret would be navigating dangerous waters now the French were in charge. He picked up the chalice and hurled it against the stone chimney. The glass shattered and the shards covered the hearth. The red wine, like spilled blood, oozed across the stone floor. He struggled to check his emotions. Anger wouldn't change the past, but rash behavior might endanger all their futures. So I hope you'll get a chance to pick up my book. It's a great read, all about the French occupation of the Isle of Jersey. It's a fascinating story, and I am proud to be the one that can bring it to the world. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy it. Happy reading.